Nicolas Jackson recently joined Chelsea for €35 million from Villarreal and made his preseason debut against Wrexham and Brighton, where he impressed in both games, grabbing an assist in the first game and a goal and assist in the second. Jackson is the only healthy out-and-out striker currently at Chelsea, as Armando Broja is still on the recovery process from an ACL injury from last season, and Nkunku has the ability to play up top, but he's not an out-and-out striker. I'm also not including Lukaku, because there's no chance he ever plays for Chelsea again. Thus, for the time being, Jackson will have ample opportunity to impress, and is already making a case for why he should be the starting striker for the upcoming Premier League season. But what makes Jackson such a talented and promising striker, and why are Chelsea fans so excited about him? One of Jackson's best assets is his strength. He has the ability to hold off defenders, creating time for his teammates to make attacking runs, transition from defense to offense, or just move into space to receive a pass. To complement this, Jackson makes well-timed runs and reads the game well enough to find pockets of space at the right moments. So after holding up the ball and playing in a teammate, Jackson can then make a right run to aid his teammate in build-up, either receiving a through ball himself or creating space for his teammates. Jackson's assist in the Brighton match perfectly exemplifies what I'm referring to. First, Jackson was pushing against the defensive line before dropping into space to receive a pass from Mudryk, drawing a defender in with him before playing a one-touch pass back to Mudryk. Mudryk then beat the incoming defender and returned the ball to Jackson, who had made another run into space to create an opportunity for Mudryk just above the box. Again, the defender followed Jackson, creating space in the center of the field, just above the box, and played another one-touch pass back to Mudryk, who placed a well-timed volley into the net. Though it was an impressive run from Mudryk and a well-placed shot, without Jackson's time runs that drew in the defenders and passing prowess, it is unlikely that the goal would have come to fruition. Needless to say, Jackson's attacking and supporting runs will be really important to Chelsea's offense this coming season. It'll bring a new level of creativity that they didn't have last season, which anyone who watched them last season could tell you was pretty lackluster. And as I'm recording this, Chelsea just played Newcastle in a preseason friendly, and Jackson just scored in the first half. He only played 45 minutes, just the first half, and Chelsea looked completely different in the second half after he was out. They looked pretty good in the first half. By no means were they controlling the game, but they were in it. And just after that, and after he got subbed out, they just didn't look as good. But his goal completely relates to what I was saying earlier in the video, where he makes really good attacking runs. So I'll just play the clip for you right now so you can see. Just to highlight how poor Chelsea's offense was last year, they only scored 38 goals. And to put this into perspective, Chelsea tied for 5th for least amount of goals scored last season. Wolves, who scored the least, scored just 7 goals less than Chelsea. And Man City, who scored the most and came in first in the league, scored over 50 more goals than Chelsea. Obviously, goals scored isn't the only important indicator to measure a team's success. Obviously, Wolves didn't get relegated last season, even though they scored the least amount of goals. But if you're looking to win the league, or at least compete for Champions League and a top 4 finish, goals scored is a pretty big indicator of your success. So Chelsea need to find a way to create 50 more goals if they want to compete for the title next season, which is unreasonable, but just consider that. Also consider that Chelsea fans don't know what it's like to have a consistently performing striker. The last successful striker they had was Diego Costa in 2016, and he was by no means a world beater. I'm not trying to hate on these players, but Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Romelu Lukaku, Aubameyang, they didn't exactly take the league by storm, and by no means had the best years of their careers at Chelsea. Before a Chelsea fan tries to bring up Kai Havertz' UCL final goal, I understand he scored that very important goal in the club's history, but think about Drogba, who, again, in a very similar fashion, made very meaningful contributions to a UCL run and scored in the final not only to tie the game to send it to PKs, but then the winning PK, but then also made meaningful contributions to the club outside of that one match, which Havertz has not done in the same way that Drogba had. And Kai Havertz is not nearly as exciting as he was when he played for Leverkusen. So now that imaginary argument is over, let's get back to Jackson. He's only 22, so he has plenty of time to grow and mature into his full potential, which is pretty similar with his teammates. So with most of the young players on long contracts, they'll be forced to grow and develop together over the years, possibly creating important relationships and an inspiring family-like atmosphere within the club. And it's only going to contribute to making each other better. Before we get ahead of ourselves, though Jackson looks like a bright spark for Chelsea at the moment, it may be too soon to tell. He's really only completed his first full year of consistent first-team football in a top league this past season with Villarreal. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs in the Premier League this coming season and over the coming years as well, if he makes it that far. And to end this video, comment down below how many goals you think Jackson will score in the Champions League this coming season.